everyone, I'm Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me in making the Crystal Nest Bracelet, a wonderful combination of our OvalDuo beads featuring Potomac crystals and new tubelet beads. If you need any of the supplies that were just listed, remember you can go below the video to get links to purchase from us online at PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. So gather up and let's get started. So to begin the piece, the first thing we actually need to do is glue in our crystals. We can do this after the fact, but I thought it'd be nice because I usually wait till the end to do this one at the start. You want to make sure when you are gluing that you don't by accident get a lot of extra glue on and kind of glue down the holes. So I'm using a variety of colors. I have my amethyst here, I have my blue zircon, my aqua, and then my light peridot as well. So I'm going to be doing all of these because I'm using those tubelet colors as well. So kind of sliding these over, I'm going to show you the simple technique that I use to glue. I'm going to be using some Loctite super glue, and I'm going to squeeze just a tiny little bit, it's a gel glue, tiny little bit into each of the center of my OvalDuos there. Put the lid on the glue while I'm not working with it. And then I'm going to pick up my flatback crystals, and these again are kind of that 6 by 8 millimeter size, and I'm going to glue onto the surface, picking up one of those crystals, and as you can see I'm kind of moving it around on the piece, pushing it down and then turning to the side till that glues in. Again, putting on the piece, kind of gluing it down and putting that in. If you do happen to get too much glue onto the piece by accident, or by accident you have that it kind of pulls off to the side and then you have glue on the side, you can use a little bit of nail polish remover on the piece, and as long as you're not rubbing a lot or anything, it won't really hurt that actual coating that's on it as well, the Zamic. So I'm going to go through here, add in these little crystal eggs that they look like in those 6 by 8 millimeter onto my 8 by 10 millimeter Potomac's oval. So to begin our Crystal Nest Bracelet, I decided I'm going to start with kind of those amethyst colors, and then I have the pastel Bordeaux in the tubelets that I'll be working with. So I'm going to push the rest off to the side, and we're going to start with our first little square here. So it's very, very simple. We'll be building as we go, and then we'll add the clasp after the fact. You can also do these components as independent pieces too if you want. We're going to start with the center and build our way out. So I'm going to start by adding my OvalDuo, my 8-0, and then another OvalDuo. When you're adding the OvalDuos, you want to make sure that you're picking them all up so they're going to face the same direction. So basically all our little eggs in our basket are sitting upright. So our crystal baskets here will have all of our little crystal eggs in. After the last one, I want to add one more 8-0, and then I'm going to tie this into a knot. It has a nice big hole, so you can use the knot. If you don't like the knot, you can always use a stop bead. And I'm going to tie this nice and tight. Again, I am using the Duracoat Galvanized Gold 11-0 in the Miyuki seed bead, and then I have the Crystal Lab Full 11-0. Also the Miyuki brand. Once you have that in here, we're going to take our thread and needle back through the next OvalDuo in line, which will pull that knot a little bit into that interior hole of the OvalDuo. From here, we're going to go to the exterior, kind of stepping up, and we're going to go along the exterior, adding in one of our tubelet beads with an 11-0 on either side. Going from the first hole of that OvalDuo, go to the second hole of the same OvalDuo, reversing the thread, which is going to take a little bit of that thread and put it to the side of the piece. By the time we add all the beads in, you won't see it at all. Now we have the 15-0, our tubelet, and our 15-0. Go through the next OvalDuo and repeat this 4 times to get our little nested eggs. So 4 go on of the tubelets with 11-0s on either side. If you want to and you are using the color variety also, keep in mind it would be fun. I went back and forth with using just gold tubelets and then rotating what my crystal colors were. So having 4 different colors of my little crystal eggs in each basket. Going through then and coming out to the last one here, you're going to add your last tubelet inline, come out the OvalDuo on the other side, and we are going to get to the point where we're going to decorate the exterior with our seed beads as well. So I want you to take your threaded needle through the 11-0, the tubelet, and the 11-0, and then come on out. On the corners here, we're going to add 3 more 11s and then 1 8-0, and then go into all of those rotations again of the 11 and the tubelets. So you're going to add in 3 more of your 11s, 1 8, 3 11s, and then over to the next 11-0 tubelet line. Out there. And the next one gets added as well. 1 2 3, 1 1 2 3. The speed at which you can do this design is pretty awesome too, because it looks super complicated, and really the longest part of it is just making sure that your glue has time to dry for your tubelets, or for your Potomac crystals to go and dry on the OvalDuos. So here gets that nice little decorated edge. And then we're going to get ready to do our connector point, which is going to allow us to do our next selection of our OvalDuos. Here's that finishing point now of the piece. Now, if you want to, you can connect it on the diamond. That's up to you, connecting in with that 8-0. I like it on the square. It has that nice box and those eggs kind of in that basket level. From here, I want you to put on 1 11-0 seed bead, and then you're going to go into your next tubelet color. So my next tubelet that I'm going to be adding is my aqua color here, that metallic sea blue. And I need 4 of those. And I have my 4 aqua OvalDuos ready to go. After your 1 11-0, you're going to add a tubelet and then another 11-0. Go ahead and sew back through the tubelet that your thread is coming out of to create kind of a right angle weave link. You can see it sits just right nicely in there. Go back through the 11 and the tubelet and out. Now when you start the second one here, we're actually going to be starting with the exterior of our basket. So when we go through and catch on to all of our OvalDuos, we're going to be going into the second hole. So we're going to add an 11-0 seed bead, go into what will be the second hole of the OvalDuo, add another 11, another one of our tubelets, 11, second hole or the top hole of that OvalDuo, and then we're going to repeat this again. When I'm repeating it too, I'm just making sure I'm going through that upper hole of the OvalDuo and that they're facing the same direction. You also want to make sure that they're facing up, just like the previous ones in the basket before. As I finish adding my last OvalDuo here, going around in that circle, I'm going to add 1 11-0 seed bead and sew back through that first tubelet. Again, just make sure that you have an open hole there into the interior and give a nice little tight pull. From here, I'm going to jump down into the interior, and then I'll come back and do the exterior, and that'll put me in line to add my next tubelet. So I'm going to go through the 11-0 seed bead and that first of my OvalDuos, give a nice little tight yank, and go into the first hole, or the interior hole of that OvalDuo. Go around your circle, adding in your 8-0s, and sewing through that first interior hole of the OvalDuo. Again to the next one, add in and through. Once you have those middle 4 beads in there, go ahead and go back through the first one you've added, back through the next OvalDuo, and then step up to the exterior hole of that OvalDuo. Coming out that OvalDuo, you're going to go back through the bead that is the starter bead, back through the tubelet, as well as the next 11-0. When you're on the exterior now, you're going to pick up your 3 11s, your 8-0, 3 11s, and go the whole way around the exterior until you reinforce so that your thread is coming out your next tubelet bead. From there, you're going to just repeat until you have about 5 to 7, depending on your wrist, different blocks of your little crystal baskets. Just showing now, I came through the last of my tubelets, and I'm just going through this whole exterior row in order to get back to my next selection, or my next section where I am going to be doing my junction there. So my next little section that I have, I'm going to go in, doing that right angle weave, getting back along that exterior row, the whole way back till I'm coming out through my last tubelet bead. So thread and needle is going to come out right there, and then I'm going to continue on adding in my next little color of my basket. Coming out the end of the clasp here, I'm going to get ready, or the end of the last box, I'm going to get ready to add my clasp. I have a 3-strand, just silver-plated tube clasp, sorry. And I'm coming out between the 4 seed beads along the end of one of my boxes. Adding on 1 8-0, I'm going to go through my first loop, come down through the 8-0, and go through the next 2 seed beads in line. That's going to get my first loop on in place. Coming out here, I'm going to add my next one that's going to sit right on top of that tubelet. So I want to go ahead and add in 1 11-0, my 8-0, go through my clasp, back through my 8, just like I did in the first one, add an 11, and sew through the next 2 seed beads in line. When it comes to multi-strand clasps and using them, and this bracelet I think really calls for one, or you'd want to use 2 clasps because of the weight of it, you want to make sure that your clasp is centered on the project. Make sure my thread's not looped around here. I'll give a nice tight pull to pull that clasp again to center. Now you want to make sure also, this is my first time through, I'm going to go through here multiple times in order to reinforce this clasp, because clasps are where the bracelet is going to get kind of the most wear and tear. Coming out between those 2 seed beads at the top of the piece here, I'm going to go through and again back through the 8-0 and connect onto the piece. Sewing a clasp on is kind of like sewing a button on, and now you have it nice and centered along the piece. From here, go around the whole exterior of the piece, reinforce that clasp, and then it's the same thing on the other side to finish up the bracelet with this nice collection of colors. I ended up with 6 of the boxes, and I can show you here how it's going to fit on my wrist. That's why I'm doing a small clasp, because it's going to pretty much fit exactly. If you do need to, you can keep with that grouping of 6. 7 is going to get pretty big. If you have a bigger wrist, you might need 7, but 7 is going to get on the big side. You can always just add a couple extra seed beads to the end, or look for a wider clasp too to kind of close that gap. Another option is, if you want to, you can sit the actual little boxes of our eggs further apart and the baskets will spread out along the design. As I'm doing this design, I've really fallen in love with it. I love the color variety, and I can't wait to see a lot of you post in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making the different color combos that you guys put together. Thanks so much for making the Crystal Nest Bracelet with me. It really is kind of a showstopper, blingy crystal bracelet that I'm really excited to wear and to love. The nice thing about it too is it has quite a weight with those different Potomac OvalDuos. It has that nice natural kind of heavy jewelry feel to it. Keep in mind, if you do need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning, as well as they are listed below the video in the description. As always with this YouTube channel, we're happy if you give a little thumbs up. You can comment below and say what color combinations you're going to do, as well as subscribe to this YouTube channel to get regular updates from us when we have new videos, new ideas, new Better Beater episode, and even new products. As always, thanks so much for watching, and enjoy your own Crystal Nest Bracelet.